All right, hey everybody, it's your girl Nisha, aka Nisha the Voice. I am live with the infamous DJ Cool. Mr. Let Me Clear My Throat. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you on with me tonight. Um, it is you are a legend. So let's just get that out there right quick. A lot of people probably just remember you. I remember the very first time that I heard your voice was "Let Me Clear My Throat," and then I got that feeling. Mid '90s, that go-go sound mixed with hip hop. So I remember, when we would go to the school dances, when they would play that, the crowd went crazy. Like everybody would just stop because that song got everybody up and dancing and moving around and everything. And it people have sampled your sound pretty much for decades. It was not just in the 90s, but for decades that sound, we hear it a lot more now, where a lot of people are tapping into the go-go and hip-hop sound more than ever. So I thank you, for your contribution, but I definitely want to get into the conversation with you because I know you have a lot of history, a lot of things to tell us, about the music industry. You've seen a lot of things over the years, and I really, and that's pretty much what industry conversations is about. It's pretty much talking about the industry, going in depth, kind of giving a little bit of knowledge to the newer generations that's out there. That's pretty much about what the industry is like now, because it's way different than what it was, you know 20, 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
you know and your style, which they place you in the category of hip hop go-go. I don't know where that come from, but they place you or whatsoever in that category. But you are well rounded. Music inside and out. you know and yeah, so I mean, the style of music. And then also on the DJ side, you have an ear for music. What was that something that made you say, like, look, I want to go into the music industry, I want to be a force to be reckoned with in the music industry?
Well, as a youth growing up, I heard a lot of music, in my household. Um, my father introduced me to artists like, oh, I don't know, Brooke Benton, Nat King Cole, James Brown, Otis Redding,
Wow.
Sam Cooke. My mother, you know what I mean? My mother introduced me to Mahalia Jackson,
Mhm.
and so, and then as I got older, hanging with some of my older cousins, I learned about Parliament Funkadelic. So I learned all about funk music, and
Right.
then you got all these other funk bands, Earth, Wind and Fire, Ohio Players, and all of that. And so I was just up in this music. Yeah.
Right. Definitely, definitely. And I think, that you named some heavy hitters there. So, with that being said, it's more so of the fact of where you are well grounded in music, all the way from gospel all the way to funk. And then here it is now, with hip hop. We've seen hip hop evolve over the last few years. And for me, I feel like it's taken a turn. It's taken a turn to what we are used to seeing. So for me, what would you say, the new generation of hip hop, what would be your partake in that of where hip hop is going?
Well, first of all, a lot of the stuff that you're hearing out here nowadays is not hip hop. It's a derivative of hip hop. It
Right.
doesn't have anything to do with the culture. It doesn't have anything to do with the principles of the culture, with your peace, love, unity, and having fun. And I
Yes.
also like the education in there as well.
Right.
See,
And I
but
and I
I,
and to your
all right, go
point,
ahead.
right, and to your point, DJ Cool, like I can remember, when Self Destruction came out, there was a
Oh,
movement behind that. You know what I mean? KRS-One, who is adult lyricist, who is an activist as well. He would always put knowledge into his music, so where when you would hear the lyrics, you knew exactly that, what he was talking about and what he was representing. So I
mm-hmm.
definitely understand, what you're saying, that it's about the culture. And the culture has it's taken a turn. It's taken a turn in a different direction than what I'm used to when I was growing up.
Well, the industry done that
Gotcha.
because the industry doesn't care anything about the culture. The only
Mm.
thing the industry cares about is how much money can I pimp this child out of.
Ooh, speak on it.
That's
Speak on
it.
it.
That's it. Period.
Speak on it.
Now, is there still a lot of good hip hop music out there? Yes, but it's all underground,
Mm.
and very little of that music gets a chance to become mainstream. So, me and you spoke the other day about, let's just say, a few artists coming out of North Carolina. We could talk about Rhapsody, who is one
Yes.
of my favorite, and she knows it. I told her, and I'll tell her every time I see her, she's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
J. Cole, you know what I
Yes.
mean? You can go back a few years earlier. Oh, Petey Pablo.
Yes. Yes.
That's my guy right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, he was coming straight out of North Carolina. His first song was all about rapping North
Yes, it
Carolina.
was. Yes, it was. And it was an anthem for a while, especially for North Carolina. I think it still is. I think they utilized that song for the hockey team that's here. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that, like you said, you have a lot of wonderful artists that are underground. You hear them a lot on Spotify, you hear them a lot on Pandora, but you don't hear them on mainstream radio. And I want to talk about that a little bit because, like you said, with the industry, it's about pretty much of how much you can pimp this child out. And I can remember way back when I very first met Anthony Hamilton. That was a discussion that he and I had, in regards to where how industries will take, especially young artists, or a beautiful artist, or even take someone that has the potential, and they will pimp them out. They will pimp them out of how much money they can make off of this individual, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And it that taught me a lot over the years about knowing your value, knowing your worth of your music, and knowing your worth as an artist. So at the end of the day, it's just one of those things. It's not a horror story, but it's one of those things, just what you just said, is that you have to know your worth in this industry. You really do.
Well, Tribe Called Quest told us back in the day, the record companies are shady. You know what I mean? Oh, what was it? What is it? Rule number 3080. Some record companies,
Yeah,
for lack of a better term, are shady,
right.
and they said that back in the mid '90s. So
Mhm.
that's truth. That's
Yeah, it is. Oh, it
that's
is. It is.
that's why you have all of our female artists, the top ones right now,
Mhm.
and all this strip club culture, all this prostitute culture.
Come with it.
All right, that's why you have a lot of these guys out here. It's crazy, but a lot of them pushing a lot of homosexual agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, a lot has changed. A lot has changed, DJ Cool, and I feel that, you know, I hear it all the time where they say we need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to, you know, what we were missing. But I don't know. I don't know if I can actually say that it's too far gone. But it's the same way for R&B. R&B has moved into more pop and not as more soul. And R&B now has turned into neo soul. It's more so of where they're pushing it into that genre.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, as time changes, they're pushing certain things into certain categories, and calling it something else. And it's not as what we were used to, the
Mm-hmm.
original hip hop or the original R&B. Now it's changes to something else, and everybody wants to go mainstream. Everybody want to be mainstream. Everybody wants to be played on the radio. And but now it's the beauty in it of what I'm hearing. The beauty in it is more of the underground artists, the underground hip hop artists who are staying true to the culture. The
Mm-hmm.
underground R&B artists like her. Her was underground for a long time. A lot of people did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's mainstream. But one thing that I can say about her, that she's staying true to herself and she's staying true to who she is. Jasmine Sullivan finally is getting the shine that she deserves. And it's weird, but sometimes it takes a long time for people to actually realize how valuable you really are.
Well, it happens a lot. I mean, it's historically stuff
Mhm.
like that happens. It's been happening. You know what I mean? But I tell you, just like my man, Macho Man Randy Savage, may he rest in peace. He's a good friend of mine, by the way. But just like he used to say, the cream always rises to the top. Right, and he's right. The cream does always rise to the top.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying?
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with hip hop, as we knew it in the 80s and 90s, especially in the 90s, and traditional R&B, I guess
Mhm.
we can call it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And I want to get into more about the songs that I know of, that I pretty much I know a lot of the viewers probably want to know how this came about. How did Let Me Clear My Throat come about? I mean, I really want to know, because I remember the very first time hearing, I was like, who is that? Who is that? You know? And it was so familiar, but I want to know, how did that come about? What was the brainstorming around it?
It was no brainstorming at all. That was just God doing what He do, and
Whoa.
it
Yeah.
goes something like this. All right, I used to play at a club in Richmond, Virginia, back in the early '90s called Ivory's Uptown Lounge.
Okay.
Uh, I had a big college night thing that I did there every Tuesday. So Ivory's was a kind of central location between three schools down there, two HBCUs, and then just a regular, I guess, I don't know, a regular D1 school. So it was
Mhm.
right behind VCU, right? And then maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes down the street in Richmond, you got Virginia Union, right? And then 20 minutes uh, south of Richmond in Petersburg, you got Virginia State. So we
Okay.
had all of these kids coming there every Tuesday. I was knocking that thing down. Tuesday, line down the block, crazy. So I did this club from '92 to '94.
Mhm.
So I had this routine that I used to do. I actually started it up here, but I brought it down there when I started playing at the club in Richmond called the 20-minute workout. And
Okay.
y'all hear me talking about
Yeah.
hold on.
Right.
Okay, over that Dougie Fresh beat, which was produced
Yes.
by Francis, by the way.
Mhm.
Um, so one night I was doing my 20-minute workout routine, and so what I would normally do is to get out of my go-go set and segue into my hip hop set. I would just, I don't know, do like a hold up, wait a minute, and then
Mhm.
drop the 100 number, which
Right.
was the beat that Let Me Clear My Throat was based off of.
Uh-huh. And that's with Funkmaster Flex, correct?
Well, actually, no, that was DJ Mark 45 King that produced that track.
Okay, gotcha.
He was a part of the Flavor Unit with Queen Latifah, Lakim Shabazz, Naughty by Nature. Who else was in Flavor Unit? Somebody's escaping me right now, but Flavor Unit. Okay.
Okay.
And anyway, so I was getting ready to say something to the crowd. Don't know what it was. It could have been anything. Instead of instead of me getting a chance to say something, I coughed.
Oh,
And
wow.
what it was, I called, and I said, God damn.
Yeah.
But then I said, let me clear my throat. And so, the beat's still rolling.
Yeah.
So the
Right.
crowd, so I said, all right, maybe I got a little something going here. So every time I coughed, the crowd said, God damn. So I'm like, okay. So then the next week came, and people were saying, cool, you gonna clear your throat tonight? You gonna clear your throat tonight? I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, you talking about what I did last week? Yeah, whatever. So then I let my audience know that in another week I'm going to record 20-minute workout live here at Ivory, which
Right.
is what we did. The 20-minute workout was recorded live at Ivory, and so I decided to do it exactly how I normally do it. This is the routine that they was used to. Me doing a 20-minute workout, then segue into, a hip hop set. But this time, I'm gonna put this little clear my throat mistake that I
Gotcha.
put. So we recorded that. Mind you, clear my throat wasn't a song yet. It was still
Right.
like a concept or what have you, or a snippet of a concept. So I get a call. from a DJ that was on air in Philly. His name was Don Mystic Mac, and he worked for a station called Power 99. He's like, cool, you got these people here in Philly going crazy over this go-go with this 20-minute workout record, right? He
Uh-huh.
said, really going off on is whatever the hell you doing over that 900 number beat, coughing, talking about, let me clear my throat. Now, let me rewind the tape a little bit. The line "Let me clear my throat" was not something that I made up. That was an old line from the intro to a Beastie Boys record.
Gotcha.
I think it was Paul Revere. So anyway, that was the first thing that came to my mind to say to kind of play off what was really going on. I'm sitting up here dying and y'all don't even know it. So anyway, so the record came out. So he said, look, he said, I need you to come to Philly and you need to see this. So they had a big show at the Core State Center, which is where the 76ers used to play ball at.
Right.
And the radio station had this huge show. So DJ rocking some joints. He plays the snippet of "Let Me Clear," or what became "Let Me Clear My Throat." 16,000 people stood up all over the arena. They gone. So I'm looking at my DJ. I'm like, all right, son, now that's a song right there. I said, I got to go home and finish it. So I came home and I thought of the idea. So then my manager, shout out to Walt Reedy Jr., he's up there in Philly, big
Mm-hmm.
block in it. Yes, sir. All right. So he said, cool, I got a show booked for you up here at Bahama Bay. Bahama Bay was a club, one of the more popular clubs that they had up there at that time, and they had this big beach party thing. So what they done was they bought a lot of sand and put it all over the parking lot. They had volleyball nets up, everything. It was
Oh my
five.
God.
It was incredible. It was incredible. They started like right before it got dark, and then because they had it was a big concert, so they had other artists. By the time I came on, it was just getting ready to get dark. 5,000 people at that event. So nobody knew that we were going to do that song. Nobody knew that we were going to record the song.
Wow.
So I told my mobile engineer, I said, look, I'm gonna count to 3, and I want you to hit record.
Wow.
And then as soon as he hit record, so when the record starts off at the count of 3, I want everybody in the place to be to make some noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, they start hollering, hey yo, 20, hit me with the horns, man, my DJ.
Yes.
The rest is history. We did that song in one take.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. And I mean, and for me, it was more so like it felt real. It felt good, And now that you're telling the story about it, I mean, it had that appeal that where you were in wherever you were, we were with you. That was the feel of it. You could be in your household and that song comes on and you feel like you were in the club with DJ Cool and you're rocking, So definitely. And then after that song, we later start to hear I Got That Feeling. And it was, So that was another banger because that was another one where, that same go-go feel, but at the same time, it was more so, it was rugged, it was raw, same thing, the way you would actually feel like you're in the club with DJ Cool,
It was another live recording. The first live recording was 20-minute workout.
20-minute workout, yeah.
I was at Ivory. We must have had about, I don't know, probably about 2,500 people in the club that night.
Oh, wow.
Incredible. So when you listen to that record and you hear me say, "It's Virginia in the house," say with that name.
Yeah.
In Richmond, you know what I'm saying? So I shout out New York and I shout out Virginia.
Yep.
When I hit Virginia, so that was the first live recording. Let Me Clear My Throat was the second live recording. I Got That Feeling was the third live recording. We recorded that live at a place called Hammerjacks in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Every time I do these live records, nobody knows that we're recording.
Yeah.
Right? So all they hear is, well, basically what you're hearing is a recording of the performance.
Yeah.
Somebody's recording a live show.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And like I said, it gives you that feeling that where we're in the club, we're in the arena with you. And, those are still timeless records to this day. And even you have newer artists that are sampling your stuff. So, I mean, how does that feel? How does that feel, that you do have, artists that are basically sampling your style right now?
I'm appreciative that people, well, for lack of a better term, get me. You know what I mean? and it's a blessing to be able to put something out there that people just feel like they just man, I got to get a piece of that. Maybe I can't do it myself, but let me just get a little piece of it. No, let me get a piece of it. I mean, you know,
Right.
so it's a blessing. It's a
Right,
blessing.
and also, and Beyonce used that within her show, so to get the crowd hype,
Mm-hmm.
that is amazing. And I know we talked about earlier about some of your influences, but who are some of the DJs, or who are some of the DJs right now that you're checking for, that you feel that are bringing that same flavor that you have?
I love uh DJ Skills.
Oh yeah, Skill.
And he knows it. He is one of my favorites. I mean, I hear a lot of guys, a lot of younger guys out here, but